What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters: Grim X Law 22, Dracoda 185, Joseku, Philip Caudill, Salosi, Mighty Snake, Brian Imka Njoku, John Doe, Terry, Serena Avalar, and Astro CP. Thank you very much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to check the link out below in the description to find out more. Thanks again.
We have heard your cries.
Blood for the blood god!
Yeah, and...
Or something along those lines.
Yeah, and all sorts of just absolute
references that I don't
insanity.
100% get, but they sound pretty metal.
Warhammer 40k, Space Marine. A game that has been out for a while, but from what a lot of people say is pretty freaking nuts.
If this is the game I think it is, I think I actually played some of this, and it was pretty badass. It's basically Gears of War in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah.
You kill a lot of orcs.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh, yeah.
But then, apparently, I think I had just gotten to a chapter where it changes up, and you actually get to fight Chaos Marines, which are also very metal.
Nice.
Chaos Marines summon demons.
So let me actually look up the 40k Space Marine. There it is. Third-person shooter, hack and slash video game, came out in 2011, and the reception of it was pretty good.
It was pretty fun from what I played of it. I liked it.
A lot of people say it was pretty good.
It was brutal. You can get the chainsaw sword and hack orcs in half with it. And
yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
And Warhammer 40k has been going strong for a while. It's pretty much everything's in space, everything's trying to kill you. Metal.
Well, the whole story of it is there are a number of factions in space, and they are all constantly at war.
Yeah.
So
okay, I don't really know anything about this, but that's kind of what I gleaned from what limited exposure I've had to it.
And there's also
the other version of it is like Warhammer is like fantasy, and it's just everybody.
Vermintide, yeah, Vermintide, yeah.
It's kind of like World of Warcraft to an extent. Actually,
they actually have sort of like a Left 4 Dead style.
Well, Vermintide is specifically against a race of rat people.
Yes.
But yeah, there's like dwarves and elves and.
I mean, I kind of have a little bit of like a minifigure fetish. So I see a lot of like the cool figures and want to buy them and paint them, but I don't have any context for them.
Expensive.
So it's like I
some of them are.
I actually bought some Tyranids back in the day. I bought I ordered when I had enough money for it. I never got a full army built, but I ordered one of the Tyrants, which is like one of the biggest Tyranids, like their leader basically. And just. Everything about the Tyranids really actually kind of struck a bell with me, and I was just like, these are awesome. Like, they're very xenomorphy, but like
I got into Mage Knight, which is like a good introductory minifigure tabletop thing back in the day, and I see their figures, I'm like, more the details, but I'm just like, I don't have any context for this, and I was like, that's kind of a lot of money, so it's like I'm just gonna stay away.
It's pretty cool when you start looking into it too, because people will buy the figures and then they'll do little mods and stuff, and some of the creativity with them is really impressive.
Yeah, and okay, and this is an introduction to a newer YouTuber that we've been, or not new, he's been out for a while, but
new to us,
yeah. Guy named the Russian Badger.
Russian Badger.
Potentially paying an homage to Soviet Womble.
So a Wolverine.
Pretty much, yeah. And this guy, he's actually very funny. He's sort of a shit poster, but a good shit poster.
He's both funny and educational, too. Like,
yes.
He'll tell you about the game that he's playing and stuff and give you tips to an extent, but...
Actually, I think Wolverines just live in Canada.
Yeah, Wolverines are more Canadian, whereas Russia, I think we can call them like super badgers, because... You know, to survive in the Siberian tundra, you got to be a bad motherfucker. Super badger. So
got to go up against Siberian tigers and
bears,
Siberian bears, and Siberians,
humans.
Siberian humans. You know, they see you, they're like food for tonight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get in, Sasha, get on point. I want you to try and kill things.
The ones that survive the gulags.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the Badger Gulag with the warden and everything. All of a sudden, he comes out and he's like, "No, test me. I am changed man." It's like no one escapes from Gulag, except for today. Revolt, my brothers! But so far, I've liked the stuff that I've read about Warhammer 40k. Some of the stuff I've seen. Might play this game. I mean, I'd like to. because I've heard a lot of people say it's very fun. Yeah. So
if you play it, let me know. I'd like to be there when you play it.
Okay. I wonder if it's co-op. If it's co-op,
I don't know. It seems like it potentially could be. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah.
If it is co-op, I'd definitely like to play it with you.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
Just cleave orcs and just kill them and just listen to some Black Sabbath along the way. Get war pigs running. Generals gathered in their masses. Da-dow.
I see like them having more like Mick Gordon type stuff playing while they're killing stuff because the Space Marines are very badass.
Yeah. Or I could play some Static X, push it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like that. But anyway, let's get to this video. This is For the Emperor, Warhammer 40k Space Marine by the Russian Badger. Let's see what happens.
I came here to do 2 things and 2 things only. Purge heretics and steal property. And I already stole your property. So let's do this. Face your heresy!
For the Emperor!
Welcome to the grim darkness of the future, where fun isn't allowed, happiness is banned, peace doesn't exist, and there's only war.
Abandon reason! No, only war!
In this war, it's us versus them. Us being the Imperium of Man, led by the almighty Emperor himself.
There is no shelter for those who oppose the Imperium of Man.
And them being anybody that isn't us. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just call them Xenos. And what's the only thing defending us from them, you might ask?
Space Marines!
Get off my ship, Space Marine! Space Marine! Space Marine!
Genetically modified, just like the vegetables at the grocery store, only instead of staying ripe for long periods of time, they're crafted by the Emperor to purge heretics.
Yeah!
We're talking 2 hearts. We're talking 3 lungs. We're talking night vision. We're talking 8-foot-tall, 800-pound monsters
That's
that
disgusting.
look like Hulk Hogan ate Boogie 2988 and covered himself in a steel suit of armor the size of a Range Rover.
We are the bringers of death!
Think of them as religion-fueled death machines hell-bent on exterminating any race that isn't human, while also not being racist.
Racist? Space Marines aren't racist. We love all races. As long as they don't have green skin.
Eat false god!
Or, you know, belong to a different religion. I don't know why anyone would call us racist. I'm a black priest for Emperor's sake.
Even gods may die!
We don't hate any races, except orcs, and Eldar, and Dark Eldar, and Necrons, and Tau, because nobody likes dumbass weeaboo space communists. But at least they aren't trying to eat us like the Tyranids.
Glossing over all that lore that you don't need to understand.
One such chapter of Space Marines are the Ultramarines, or if we're being honest, Ultra Smurfs, that are charged with exterminating the orcs on one of your manufacturing planets that are stealing your shit.
Clever of the damned orcs.
How important is this shit that they're stealing, you might ask?
Strategic value absolute.
So I'm guessing that's pretty important then?
Strategic value absolute.
That doesn't make things any clearer for the audience.
Strategic value absolute.
You occupy the role of Captain Titus, a soft-spoken junior officer voiced by the legendary Mark Strong, joined by an OG sergeant and a turbo-nerd subordinate named Leandros, that constantly hounds you about not following a dipshit rulebook called a codex.
Is that wise, Captain? The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Shut the fuck up, Leandros.
To be perfectly clear, I beat the entire game once in its default state and had so much of a blast, I beat it again immediately afterwards, only with mods out the ass. So instead of playing as a calm and collected Crypt Marine,
went full blood.
I played as a Blood Marine, which, if I'm being honest, was a slightly different experience.
Die, scum! No prisoners! For the Emperor!
So if you're not video off as heresy or confusing, I understand. I just grew up playing an RTS called Dawn of War and would rather play as a Blood Raven than an Ultramarine Smurf Blueberry.
None of this is really important. Let's start purging, and also, spoiler alert, transitions are weird.
The orcs invading your planet and trying to steal your huge-ass Titan tank are a super diverse bunch, ranging from puny little orc children that shouldn't even exist. Hey,
Micro-heretic.
don't run away from me! Why do you even exist? Why? Come on. Yeah! All the way up to the orc war boss Grimskull himself, who was basically
Look at that,
Shrek in his final form.
Steal my loot! I'll rip your guts right out your throat!
Equally as diverse the weapons at your disposal to eradicate them with, from a dinky bolter pistol all the way to a heavy bolter, because when it comes to orcs, the caliber you're firing can never be too high.
I'm gonna need a heavy bolter for this heresy.
The quickest way to purge through scores of orcs?
Melee.
Getting up close and personal is not only the
chainsaw them
fastest
some
way
bitches.
to cut through a horde of orcs with single, double, and triple hit combos, but believe it or not, it's how Space Marines heal. Yeah, that's right. These guys are so draconian, they don't need to pick up health kits, because the enemies are the health kits. Just crump some poor orc, mash your stun key until an orange skull pops up, and execute his ass for a speedy and convenient health boost.
Die, heretics! Yum!
Your melee weapon of choice is a trade-off between speed and damage. Like the chainsword is agile and great for cutting things, while you're also simultaneously already cutting things, but it's less potent against heavy armor.
I am cutting things even though I was already cutting things.
On the other hand, or rather, with both hands, the Thunderhammer handles as awkwardly as a bus, but it also hits like a bus, running a stop sign in a school zone.
Hey, yo, are you Elon?
Hey, bro, we heard you like to cut, so we put a chain on your sword so you can cut while you
And you got
cut.
a power axe in between those two extremes, and I can't explain why, but it feels like you're competing in a figure skating / rhythmic gymnastics competition when you use it, and I'm oddly okay with that. If you want to get fancy, you can melee 3 times and mash stun to curb stun multiple enemies and choke slam any motherfucker still standing.
Die, green skin!
So it's safe to say that when it comes to this move, the Emperor most definitely does approve.
I said, cease! I think I stunned too hard. I'm stuck in the terrain. Brother, I am stuck in the terrain. Where's Captain Diomedes when you need him? Brother, I am pinned here!
Eventually, you'll realize you can't just slice your way through the game. Chaos Marines and their pedantic piece of shit leader meme rock.
That noise cannot defeat me!
And you'll need to start firing guns if you want to survive. Or more specifically, bolters.
Bolters, brothers!
If you call this thing an assault rifle, I'm gonna break your arms, because it may be used like an assault rifle, only instead of firing a 223 the size of a crayon or a 308 the size of your finger, it fires a 998, which
should actually be a 75 cal according to the lore.
that's essentially like firing a self-propelled can of Red Bull that explodes after penetrating its target, making it almost into an assault rifle RPG hybrid.
How many fucking robots does this place have? Are we invading an Imperium outpost or Amazon headquarters? I could have never canceled my Prime.
You have downward variants and upward variants, like the bolter pistol in case you've got something heavy in your hands, and my personal favorite, the Stalker bolter, which is the most satisfying sniper rifle I've ever had the privilege of using.
Just like Sesame Street, you ready? And 1, and 2, and not 3, not 4, 5. I'm really glad that all the orcs saw that are about to be purged, because that was embarrassing.
If you positively have to expend as many rounds as possible, the Storm Bolter does exist, which is like a double-barreled LMG. That's cool for the first 5 minutes that you use it.
The rate of fire of the Storm Bolter? Perfection. The accuracy of the Storm Bolter? Just put him anywhere that's remotely close to a target. I don't really give a shit.
But better alternatives do exist, because the game gives you 4 slots consisting of a primary, secondary, long range, and...
Fuck, there's way too much fuck!
I kept the standard bolter and stalker bolter throughout most of the game because sometimes one bolter just isn't enough to stop a horde of orcs trying to crump your ass into outer space.
I'm gonna need 2 bolters for this heresy.
But once I started fighting the forces of chaos, I dropped the stalker for the las cannon, or laze cannon, aka the Space Marine Spartan laser that was clearly superior, because here's me killing a Chaos Marine with a bolter.
Thank the Emperor! I was starting to think he was invincible there for a second.
And here's me doing the same deed with a las cannon / laze cannon.
By the Emperor, that's powerful.
Damn!
It's all about the Vengeance Launcher, which fires sticky nades that you can personally detonate, because who wants to launch rockets when you can launch vengeance?
That sounds promising.
Even a flame-bursting shotgun exists, but all of these specialized weapons rip through ammo at an incredible pace, so honing your bolter skills is the way to go.
Burst them in flame! Burn in holy fire!
Navigating the levels is obviously done by either running or rolling.
Don't ask me how the hell these characters roll in this much armor. It's a long story.
But channeling your inner Dark Souls character to kite enemies or get to objectives faster is a significant portion of your playthrough. It's even useful in boss fights, because who needs to kill orcs when you can just roll out of the way and have orcs kill themselves?
Here he comes! Here he comes! Here he comes!
Yeah! Nice.
You're getting crumped by a member of your own race!
On that note, there are even these little Mike Wazowski looking dudes called squigs that explode on impact and are arguably better at killing orcs than you are. So this theme of orcs killing themselves is not a new phenomenon.
Come on, Squig, merge! Merge into the group!
If I remember right,
Get in there!
when I was reading about the orcs a little bit, they
you
do
will
actually
always be
just
running or
kind of
rolling through the
sacrifice
terrain,
themselves
because
for the
eventually
cause a
you'll
lot.
gain access to a jump pack, which when combined with a thunder hammer is like an NBA dunk contest mixed with Super Smash Brothers.
Outside of LeBron, 5 seconds left. LeBron leaps! Oh my Lord! LeBron James with a complete disregard for orc life!
This jump pack also happens to be wonderful at getting you places in record time. It's almost like using unbridled rage as a mode of transportation.
I fucking love my commute!
And now that you know what you're swinging, shooting, and zooming around with, there's one thing that enhances everything, and that's called
Fury!
If being a Space Marine wasn't already super soldier enough, you can channel Fury, which builds up as you purge heretics, and well,
Deliver merciless justice upon the enemies of humanity.
that means your health surges. That means you hit harder. That means you turn 30 seconds of hacking and slashing into a 10-second nightmare for any enemies in your general vicinity, punctuated with curb stomps that are extra earth-trembling.
Oh, that never gets old.
This Fury becomes more and more powerful as the game goes on, and there's even a marksman mode. So if you ever wanted to enter a slow-motion bullet time mode as a badass Space Marine, here's your shot.
Wow, that ragdoll,
That I
baby.
love more than the combat, movement, and gear are the objectives. I'm pretty sure every objective in the game is either 3 words or 4 words, and that's the way it should be.
Those guardsmen cannot survive that long. We find a way to destroy the gun.
So you may be able to criticize some stretches of the game for being just running and rolling between elevators.
Hey, look, I'm on a lift. Does anybody know if repeatedly rolling or sprinting is faster? I've been at this 200 years, I still don't know. Hey, look, a lift.
But it focuses on what it's good at, which is violent purging and eradicating any life form that doesn't look like you.
Ah! Stop resisting! I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I would say sorry for hitting you so hard that the game glitched, but I don't apologize to Xenos.
The story isn't all that important, seeing as the game only takes 5 to 6 hours to beat, and the best character is Orc Warboss Grimskull, because he's the only character that doesn't put me to sleep with her monologuing.
You got new friends now, Space Marine! I ain't finished with you yet, Space Marine! But nobody did what I did
Not that my second playthrough was any better, because with all the mods I was running, none of the story made any sense.
Second Lieutenant Mira, 203rd Cadian Regiment.
It is the Bane Blade!
You are in command.
I'm all that's left, my lord. That damn gun. We don't have the numbers to make an assault, and as you might have seen, it's shooting down all our support vessels.
Engaging Warp Spider! Ah! A Warp Spider!
But at least you
Is
get
that
to
the
hook up with
actual
some blood
dialogue?
ravens to cleanse an
Apparently that's what he
bridge
actually
and
modded it
Whenever
to.
you put that mod on, yes. I have seen some funny shit with people becoming
the Blood
Marine and just outright, just in the midst of conversation, like lore-based conversation, all of a sudden they're just like,
So
everything must die!
I take it like the Blood Marines, they're just like, they get like the Matrix Jack of just a feed of like Crusader memes, basically.
Effectively, and they
I'm kind of digging
they
it.
delight in destruction. Whereas regular Space Marines, they don't delight in destruction. They do it for the honor of the Emperor.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not a big fan of the Crusades, but Crusader memes are hilarious.
Steal anything.
Hippity hoppity, where the fuck is my property?
You're gonna hit the final boss fight with Kimbrough, who's obsessed with becoming ascended for reasons that I won't spoil. But again, this game is about the gameplay, not about the story.
Damn it, I had something for this. Something, crack his wax.
It's not about the plotting, it's about the
Purging.
The end. And that's about it. But before I go, I wanted to mention, as of me recording this video right now, it is $7 on Steam. This is in no way a sponsored video. I'm pretty sure Relic, the guys that made it, don't even exist anymore. Of course, Sega still exists, but I don't think Relic is around anymore. So from an unbiased position, if you have $7 on you that you're not going to spend on your next meal, I highly recommend that you pick it up. As long as you don't let a bunch of turbo nerds drown you in lore that takes lifetimes to understand, Warhammer 40k is fascinating. So again, $7, totally worth it. Thanks very much for watching, and be sure to tune in next time when we make fun of the salamanders.
I hope so.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want like an 8 foot tall, like 6 foot wide
Beefman, just like, could he even fit through the door?
genetically
Essentially a
modified
bipedal
man.
tank. So.
Yeah. Blood for the blood go. Wait.
Lucky for us, I don't think those dudes could actually fit through our door frames. So.
There's not.
I'm
gonna
sure
be
they
a
could
door,
make.
They're
going
gonna
to
walk through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just come through the
It's
drywall.
a sexual Tyrannosaurus, just
Yeah.
like when he ran through that tree trying to get a taste of Ian Malcolm.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, but he got plenty of lawyer. He got that lawyer, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
What's lawyer versus Jeff Goldblum?
Right, exactly.
This is true.
There's a reason why they photoshopped Alan Grant just like laying on his chest. Just
Oh, that's right.
everybody was thinking it.
Yeah. Yeah. But Warhammer 40k, man, I mean, that game looks insane. And
Space Marines specifically. There's actually a lot of those games.
well, yeah.
A lot of 40k games. Different kinds.
Well, I remember a lot of people saying, like back during one of the last Steam sales, you could get literally almost every Warhammer 40k game, including all the DLC, all the stuff, for like $25.
Yeah, I wish I had hopped on that because that would have been cool to
Me
check
too.
out a lot of that.
Well, I did whenever the Star Wars thing happened. I literally went and bought every Star Wars game that was like $1.
The only one I ever got was like I got a really good deal on it. It was like I think $30 was every id Software game.
Okay.
So I have like all the original Dooms, all the original Wolfensteins, a bunch of stuff I don't care about like Commander Keen.
Well, that's fine.
All the Dooms up through and Resurrection of Evil is what came with it at the time.
Well, yeah, I literally got all the Star Wars games that came out from LucasArts, and including Jedi Academy or Jedi Outcast, rather.
Nice.
I got that one, and I also got see, which one was it? Ah, crap. Yeah, I got KOTOR. I got KOTOR as well. Although that was technically BioWare, but still, potato.
Still a Star Wars game.
Yeah, still Star Wars. But overall, man, I mean, the crazy amount of lore-based stuff that's out there. Warhammer 40k, Star Wars, friggin' StarCraft. Like, holy crap, dude. StarCraft, I mean, just the lore behind Kerrigan and Jim Raynor is ridiculous. Because Kerrigan and you know, all, you know, her story and how she went from, you know, one of Jim Raynor's like warriors, and then all of a sudden she gets abandoned, and then she becomes the new queen of the enemy, and it's like, holy shit, when did this happen? And then Jim Raynor, he's just like, I'll get her back, either that or I'll kill her myself. And it's like, Jesus criminy, where's this all coming from? And then eventually at the end of
it's because it's like Warcraft but in space, because it's like Arthas, where he was like, you know, the freaking prince, and then all of a sudden he became the fucking Lich King out of nowhere, and it's like everybody's like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, I remember the reveal. Like,
then we didn't actually get to kill him until fucking Wrath of the Lich King in World of Warcraft after that.
Oh, dude, Kerrigan's still alive though, man. And actually,
Yeah.
Kerrigan actually has switched sides. Actually, her and Jim both have effectively just told the government to piss off. We're not fighting your war anymore. And yeah, they're now like on the run from both sides. It's like Jesus, it's crazy stuff. Warhammer 40k, the same thing. I mean, the Marines, the Emperor, the Blood Marines.
I want to see them come back and do another game kind of like this, but like way more expanded. And you basically fighting like at some point in the game like every other like enemy race.
Well, yeah.
Because like the Necrons are badass, the Tyranids are badass. It would be cool to fight against like the what do they call them? Like, they have a different name for them than elves, but they're basically space elves.
And what's the one that you like a lot? The
Tyranids.
Tyranids, okay.
Yeah.
Well, imagine the Tyranids, which a lot of people consider them like final level boss material because of how badass they are.
Well, it's like
I would have them.
They're kind of like the survival horror level type race because.
Well, that's
unlike the orcs where there's like, a whole bunch of the orcs and they're all sitting around like, oh, the Tyranids are going to like swarm over stuff like coming at you in like a wave. So like there would be like things where like you probably literally have to be in a vehicle to even survive. Like,
well, that's one of
even as a space marine.
Well, that's the thing about it. I'd like to do if they did a game like that, I would play up the different styles of levels because Gears did a pretty good job with it. There were certain levels that gave you a sense of horror. Same thing with I think it was a Halo. It was one of the Halo games where you actually played as the Arbiter, and it was this big long level where you literally had to go through and fight the Flood the entire way through, and your teammate, your squad mates, if they went down, they became Flood members, and you had to kill them, which is just wicked.
Yeah.
And I would like for something like that to happen, where effectively you go to one planet that's being laid upon by the space orcs, and you effectively just take out one of their leaders, and they flee, and they go to another system, and you got to follow them, or here come the Tyranids, and you actually have to go to the civilization where they're where they're trying to take hold and get a foothold, and you have to fight through sort of like an alien sort of like an alien's corridor where you have to actually like go deeper and deeper and deeper, and the deeper you go, the more hellish and the more scary it gets.
I think it would be badass if they actually sent you on board one of their hive ships too.
Yeah,
on a mission to just crash the thing, to like stop the flow of them coming.
Well, crash it into a star. That's because that's really be the only way you could kill them all.
But also I don't like. I've ranted about the Tyranids so much. I don't think I even mentioned what the Necrons are. Whereas the Tyranids are xenomorphs, the Necron are basically Terminators.
Yeah.
So they're like basically machines that rebuild themselves after they get killed and shit.
Yeah. Actually, I told Micah about them.
So they're pretty. Badass.
They're
like
ridiculous.
Immortal machines. Yeah, so they're pretty cool too. They probably would have been my second pick as like a race to play, and if I played the tabletop next to the Tyranids.
Yeah,
they're pretty metal as well.
Metal.
That's the thing about that game is like all the races are so cool. It's really hard to pick which one you actually want to play if you're going to play the tabletop game.
Yeah.
Unless you have a shit ton of money and can just build an army of all of them.
Yeah.
That'd be expensive, though.
Actually, you know what would make a good Warhammer 40k game? Is if you could literally pick any race to play as.
Like in the actual game? I think they might have done at least one RTS kind of like that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm talking like
they have like, I think 15 to 20 or something like that races, so.
I'm talking like a character action game where you literally can play as any, and it adds to the replay value because every time you play through the story as a different race, the story is different.
It would be strange playing as some of them though, because like especially like the Tyranids.
Yeah.
There's really no room for any kind of dialogue exposition or anything in that.
No, you could work with that too because there's some. They managed to make it fun when you play it as an alien versus predator.
Yeah.
And I think you could do that. You could effectively have it to where it's just basically one going off of instinct to try and spread the Tyrannid and everything, and how can I go about this? Okay, there's a Space Marine right there. I have to surprise attack him, and how am I surprise attack him? Okay, go around here. Oh, there's another Space Marine. Stealth kill. Just like rip him up. And
it would be interesting to just be able to play them like in a PvP game too, kind of like that, because the different units they have and different play styles that would open up would be pretty neat.
Oh yeah.
Besides just like playing as like a Hormagaunt or Termagant, where you like run around and like slice people up or just shoot at people like with a normal gun, you could play as the Zoanthropes and like, you know, telekinetic blast people, or you know, play as like a fucking Carnifex, which is basically like their siege engine type guy. That's just a big beefy motherfucker with like a giant gun, you know.
Damn,
that would be kind of neat.
God.
Because the thing about them is they actually basically have entire organisms to replace vehicles. Whereas, like, you know, you have a tank if you play as the Space Marines. They have a Carnifex, which is just a big motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a big dude, man.
He's basically
a big chunky boy.
A big tank of alien type thing.
God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this. This was Russian Badger for the Emperor. Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Good Lord, this lived up to it, because this was actually very entertaining all the way through, because I don't understand how, but Badger just finds ways to make shit funny. I mean, oh yeah. But if y'all like the original video, check out the description. The link to it is down there. Feel free to check out Russian Badger. The guy is very funny. And if you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to stay notified, leave a comment down below. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
Micah.
Nick.
We will see you in the next one. Peace out.